Welcome to Off the Wall. My name is Trey. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out the show this week. It is the holiday season, and look how festive we are. We got the lights around the whiteboard. We got the lights going up here, all around there. Still got the Kiss album up. We'll have to switch that up here soon. But hope everyone's having a really good holiday season so far. We've got a couple weeks left of it before we're in 2026, and that means the 2026 indoor and arena football season is not far away, which is very exciting, but it's a lot closer than I think a lot of folks may realize. So, very exciting times up ahead. But we've got an exciting episode for you this week. We've got Jaylin Swan, who is one of the most disruptive and dynamic defensive linemen in all of indoor football. We talk about his introduction to indoor football, his time with Quad City, deciding to leave Quad City and go to Fishers for their inaugural 2025 season, and what the 2026 season looks like for the Fishers Freight and what we can expect there. So very fun conversation with Mr. Swan. Got to dive into a lot of aspects of his personal journey and what's going on in Fishers. So I have a feeling you guys are going to really enjoy that conversation. We'll dive into some other stuff after the interview like we usually do as well. But before we get to any of that, it is time for Social Plug. That's right. If you don't follow us already, please make sure you're following us on socials at Off the Wall FB, F as in foot, B as in ball, Off the Wall FB. Instagram, X/Twitter, TikTok, all the things and stuff. Go make sure you follow us on there and engage. Join the conversation. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you disagree with me on something. I have a lot of fun chopping up with folks and hearing different perspectives and hearing some hot takes and cold takes and some of those takes that are somewhere in between. So come join the conversation on socials. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello, thank you for being here. Please make sure you're liking this episode and subscribing to the channel as well. That helps the algorithm that tells YouTube, hey, people like this, people enjoy this. Let's push it to more people. That's what we're trying to do with this podcast, with this blog, and with the sport of indoor and arena football as well. So if you could do that, that would really be appreciated. And leave a comment as well. Leave a comment on some potential off-season discussion that you'd like to see on some future episodes, what you'd like to dive into. Maybe do a little deep dive on a history of a team. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to hear, and we can make it happen. But if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please make sure you go to the show page and rate that 5 stars as well. Share it with a friend. And we'll continue to grow this thing out. We also have a royalretros.com affiliate link in the description below. So just scroll down just a little bit there. Click through the link. Use code OFFTHEWALL for 10% off. It is the holiday season. Great for gift giving if you've got someone who loves arena football, loves a defunct football league, loves a Grand Rapids Rampage jersey, a shirt, a Nashville Cats shirt, a Kentucky Barrel shirt. They got all the things and stuff on there. So go check it out. Again, use the link and use code OFFTHEWALL for 10% off your purchase. And we also have Off the Wall t-shirts on offthewallfb.com. We've been sending out orders of those over the past couple of weeks, and we've still got a handful left. We got those available as well. So that's enough plugs. Let's dive into the interview with Mr. Jaylin Swan. All right, on the show this week, we have one of the premier defensive linemen in the IFL. He was named to the 2025 All-IFL First Team, and he's returning for another season with the Fishers Freight in 2026. It's Jaylin Swan. Jaylin, I thank you so much for taking the time to hop on the show. How's the holiday season been treating you so far?
Beautiful. I'm back in St. Louis for the holidays. Thought I could escape the snow, leave a little early on the weekend, but we got hit with like 4 to 6 inches. So yeah, I was outside shoveling the pathway for my grandma and my auntie this morning. So yeah. But it's still beautiful though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good for you getting out there and putting the muscles to work for grandma and auntie.
Yeah, in fact, hey, they got to get outside somehow.
For sure, yeah. Well, let's dive right into it. Tell us a little bit about your football journey and what led you to getting involved with the sport of indoor football.
All right, so I went D3 Illinois College, and basically I was just there. I wanted to play. Didn't really have an aspiration of playing indoor, to be honest. I knew about it, of course, with everybody knowing about the video game stuff, but I didn't know it was still around. So I met up with Coach Dave Bergerman, I think. I can't remember how to say his last name correctly.
Yeah.
But him and Craig Neese, my defensive coordinator at the school, they knew about it. So they was like, we're gonna send your tape out there. So if you don't make it to the NFL, CFL, you got something to do post college, you know what I'm saying? Keep going, keep working. So that happened. Coach Dave, I believe he knew Coach Ross at QC at Quad City.
Yeah.
So I guess some type of way they sent my tape. That's how my tape got out. And they gave me the opportunity in QC. And Rest just kept going down the line.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you definitely made the most of your opportunities so far with like you said, starting in Quad City and starting off with a splash there and having a few good successful seasons lined up there and making your way over to Fishers. Well, doing some research and reading up on you for our conversation here, I saw you went to Illinois College and their nickname is the Blue Boys. What
Mhm.
exactly is a Blue Boy?
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So it's a Union soldier.
Okay.
At the school, our school is known for being one of the hubs where Abraham Lincoln would come down to hang out with his friends. So he'd
Oh,
be in Jacksonville, Illinois, which is 30 minutes, 30 miles south of Springfield, Illinois. So he
okay.
would go down there, hang out with his friends, and kick it. And during the war, that entire team decided to leave and go to war. So when they came back, they just called them the Blue Boys or the Blue Coats.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it's a lot of history with that, with us being the Blue Boys and on our campus, like I said, Abraham Lincoln. I believe we also have a presidential chair or a U.S. government chair in our one of our libraries.
Yeah.
It's like a whole museum. It's in the back of the campus. It's
Wow.
it's small, but it's beautiful. It's historic, um, and it's amazing. We just won. No, we just lost a bowl game, but we were like 8-2, 8-3 this year. So
Very nice.
yeah,
Well, how was your experience as a whole at Illinois College? It seemed like it was a good time off the field. How was it on the field?
it was amazing. I can honestly say, game one we played Simpson College my freshman year. That was a scene, and then the first home game I ever played in was a scene. And we just talked about family the whole time. So like that whole 5 years that I did because of COVID, I mean, I built family, 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 but on the field we did everything together. Off the field we did everything together. We always did two bonding trips. Coach D really stuck. When I say stuck with family, I'm talking about like his kids will come around, and then like after games, he'll tell everybody, "Hey, family, come on the field. Like we're gonna talk, we're gonna speak." But like that meeting in front of the family and things like that, that was the family meeting right after the game, like the
Right.
the nightcap, the recap of the game. But Sunday morning, what I'm saying, we back to business on full team mission. But
Yeah.
every season was pretty fun. I mean, I met my brothers, I met my best friends. You name it. Like going to that small of a D3 school, you would think like, it ain't much, it ain't nothing, but it was everything and some for me.
Yeah, it sounds like they got a really good culture of around that not just the school but around the football program.
Yes, sir.
So you mentioned knowing about the video game, the arena football video game. Did you play it often growing up, or how
Yeah.
often did you get involved with that?
So my cousin had it. So like I would always go to my cousin's house for like breaks, so like winter break, summer break. Like we went to the same school, but our school was based off location. So
Okay.
mine was South City and his was like Old North. So it's the same school, but just different location. So we would
Right.
go there and our breaks, we would spend the time together. So we played Madden, arena football, NHL, MLB. Like we're playing all the games and everything. And then most of the times, like I didn't really like playing Madden without him. So I would play the arena football game by myself. And then
Yeah.
my cousin would come in and he'd be like, "Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about that." And then next thing you know, I went from being up 21 on my cousin to down by 48 to him. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, the arena and indoor game is can be unforgiving at times. You be on top of the world one moment, then you're at the bottom of the barrel the next. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, so you mentioned getting in contact with Coach Ross and the folks over at Quad City to kind of start your professional career. What that initial conversation look like, and how was that adjustment process to the indoor style of game for you?
The initial conversation was amazing. Like he spoke to me and my mom's, and he just let us know like, "Hey, this is how it is. This is what goes on." You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have a great time. This is everything you need to know. Let me know when you're ready. I was like, "Yo, coach, I'm ready." He was like, "Cool. This is all the information you need. Let's get it rolling once you get up to QC." Boom. Now, when we talk about the transitioning,
Mhm.
that was a whole nother level. Like
Yeah.
playing wide nine in a five, like, yeah, cool. Like I don't gotta face a guard. And then I get here and I'm facing offensive guards and offensive tackles playing guard. So it's like
Yeah.
this is a different game. It's much faster. It's having a lineman, having a slot receiver from closer to you.
Hmm.
That threw me off like a lot my rookie year. Like I would like immediately think they were gonna do a halfback toss, so I would be out of assignment and try to just take the slot out because I would think they're coming to crash down or something.
Yeah.
Um, and then just having to understand the angles in the wall. Like I always was nervous about running into that wall and hurting myself, and it never happened realistically. But I was always nervous, like the wall and my angles. It got to be right because if I take the wrong angle and run into this wall, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. That wall can be a ninth defender or a ninth offensive person,
yeah,
depending on how you approach it. So yeah, it's got to be in the back of your mind.
yeah. It was always in the back of my mind, always.
Yeah, so that rookie season in 2022, the Steamwheelers got hot, made it all the way to that national championship against
Yeah.
Northern Arizona. What do you remember most about that team and that run through the Eastern Conference Championship and being able to go out to Las Vegas for that championship
Yeah,
game?
Vegas. I just remember us catching fire and having fun. Like
Yeah.
it got to a point where we were like, all right, like if I'm not mistaken, I feel like that was a team where it wasn't a lot of like big names, big D1 guys all across the board. We was a lot of
Hmm.
D3, NAIA, and D2 guys. So we was just all out there balling, and then everybody caught fire. We found out true leaders on the team that year, and we just wanted to work. Like every single person wanted to work hard. Went to practice. Like anybody who got hurt, they trained it hard in practice, out of practice, trying to get better. Like everything was just a rolling machine to catch fire the right ways. And then I mean, the balls just fell our way throughout the playoffs. Every single game, they just fell our way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At what point in that rookie season do you feel like you kind of started to get comfortable with the new way of playing that indoor style? Because I know it's got to take some time to get
yeah.
into a groove with it.
I would say for me, my rookie year was ups and downs. Like
Yeah.
I would say, my first game in Sioux Falls was I found my groove. I would say after I had my first sack, so I was like, oh yeah, this easy. Like this is too easy.
Yeah.
But then I forgot who we played next, but oh, we played like Massachusetts or Frisco, and then I realized like, oh, this is a grown man game. Like
Yeah.
these tackles are bigger. So
Yeah.
once I got the feel and the vibe of each team, I was able to watch film, and I'm like, okay, now I'm more confident. So I would say about I'll honestly be like week 12 that year.
Wow.
About week
Okay.
12, I felt pretty more confident going into it. Like I was say I even was nervous in the playoffs, but in spurts, I had my confidence throughout the playoffs that year.
Yeah, it's I mean, when you look at the game, there's obviously less offensive linemen, but less defensive linemen, and it's pretty much a one-on-one battle with
Yeah,
who you got in front of you at all times. It's like you're fighting in a phone booth at times to try to get by and get to the quarterback. Where it took a little time for the IFL to catch up with the no stunt, no twist rule and get rid of
yeah,
that. What
yeah.
I bet you were pumped when the when that rule change
Oh yeah,
went
I was
through.
like, yeah, y'all not gonna see this coming. Like y'all
Uh,
awareness is not as high as y'all think it is right now. Like
yeah.
that was my main thought process when I heard that rule. I was like, oh, mommy gotta have awareness now. Like, yeah, they're
Uh-huh.
they're not used to this. Like maybe this year
Yeah.
coming up, they'll be used to it. But
Yeah.
most definitely last year, I was like, when we run these stunts, they're not gonna see us coming. Like they're
Right.
not gonna see us coming, especially me. Like I'm finna fly past everybody. That was the goal every time.
Yeah, because you shifted it from, "Hey, it's one-on-one every single play," to you could be getting the guy next to you. You don't know what's coming from the
Yeah,
offensive side. So I bet all the defensive linemen around the league were pumping their fists, ready to roll when that rule went through.
man, I believe so. I believe it.
Yeah. And it also felt like coaches would, before the rule change, they would throw a challenge flag trying to catch an illegal defense on a bunch of big plays. And it was like,
Yeah,
okay, do you actually think there was a twist, or are you just praying that something gets caught on camera?
yes.
And
It
it was
was a
just like a
few
big momentum killer at times.
yeah, a few times I got caught with one on a slant call because I would cross over, but the nose guard wouldn't move as far. So even
Hmm.
if I got past the line of scrimmage and crossed over the nose guard and he still was fighting forward, they would throw and it was like, well, we slanted. I just happened to, win my battle at the time. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting penalized for winning a battle at some point.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, that rookie season took you some time to get acclimated, but 2023 really really strong year. Had that all IFL second team. What did it mean to kind of earn that recognition and establish yourself as one of the premier defensive linemen in the game?
It was really surreal, honestly. Like I had no clue what was going on. Like I was just had my head down, working hard, and I just was like, we just gonna keep going. And then I went into the office, and they was like, we got something for you. And I was like, what's that? They're like, you got all league, and I was like, I got what? I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure. I was like, yeah, I gotta be like joking. They was like, no, like you really got it. So, but basically, like that whole season for me was a wake up call, just from start to finish. And I mean, learning from Sterling Clark, who's in the NAL now, Vernon, and Joe Craw as well. Definitely him. Fighting them, that helped me throughout that whole season get better, like week in and week out. And then especially EJ, he was like, bro, we brought you here to do your job, do your job. So I'm like, I got you. So we
Yeah.
can out, we push each other every week to get better. So yeah.
You mentioned Joe Crawl, but going from teammates with him to going up against him in Quad City this past season. Do you have any particular matchups you enjoy? You like locking horns with some individuals throughout the league?
Yeah, Joe is my number one.
Yeah.
Funny story, he went to Monmouth, so that was our rival in college. So every time
Okay.
I see Joe, it's gonna be one on one. It's beef regardless, but that's my guy.
Yeah.
Um, and then I would say pretty much the Massachusetts O line. Like every year,
Yeah.
like whenever we line up against them, I'm like, my goal is if I get a sack against them, I'm going to Burger King. I'm going somewhere fast food that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, I would say the Massachusetts O line, and then I'm going to have to pick. I'm going to say Green Bay and Jacksonville. And
Okay.
only Green Bay, of course, I was in QC, so I played them all the time. So whoever I
Right.
go against Green Bay, but Jacksonville, their O lineman was pretty decent to me. So I felt like going against them. I was like, if I could get back there I think it was Caleb Barker
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I forgot the second one, Huff. I think his name
Yeah.
was.
Tyler Huff. Yeah.
Yeah, so going against them, definitely, I was like, if I get back there for sure, like, definitely gonna be my game for sure.
Yeah. With Green Bay, you've probably played them like 12 times and throughout your
Yeah,
career at this point. So it's like, all right, here we go again.
yeah,
We're going
definitely
up against the
Green Bay.
Blizz.
Yeah, Green Bay has definitely been a tough task every year going against them. That's a great program up there. So yeah, I know a
For
lot.
sure. Yeah.
Played them too much.
Well, you had a few good seasons in Quad City, but you ended up signing with Fisher's Freight for that 2025 season.
Yeah.
What led to that decision to leave Quad City, where you had multiple really good seasons there, to join a brand new team like Fisher's in their inaugural season?
Honestly, just personal growth. I really sat back and thought about it, and I was like, okay, well, ever since I was a kid, I've never traded teams like basketball, soccer, football, baseball, like never traded a team. So I had the opportunity and I kind of was in my head, like, I don't know if this is gonna be my last year. Like, I've been playing football, doing this a lot. I want to
Yeah.
move up. Like, I don't really know, but I'm gonna come back, have fun. I got a phone call from coach and he talked to me about everything I wanted to hear, player development, having fun, competing at the highest level. So when I heard those things, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take my opportunity and I'm gonna finally leave a team. And I felt like I was being disloyal, but it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I gotta go out here and do what I think is best for me. So
Right.
yeah, that's really what it was just stepping out of my comfort zone, really.
Yeah, and it's got to be exciting to be able to go to a brand new team, help establish a brand new culture. Like it's a fresh start. Whereas Quad City, they've got a good thing going, but like going into there, they kind of have the standard already set there. So it had to be exciting to go into that opportunity. But what were some of the challenges of being a part of a new team in a new market like that?
Ooh, that's ooh. So the challenges was just basically like finding your role. And for
Yeah.
me, finding your role is finding a role on the team, but also finding your role in that city.
Mm,
Like you're not just playing for, the symbol on the front and the name on the back. You
yeah.
also are playing for the people in the crowd. So like I had to like I like to drive around and stuff and see how the city really is, and like Fisher's beautiful, you know what I'm saying? So I got to see like, okay, well, why is it beautiful? I'm seeing like, okay, people are really working hard and stuff like that. So then I'm like, cool, I found my place. And that was the main challenge for me. But then going to the team and stuff, it was just like this challenge, that challenge, which was just staying locked in through the first two winning games to the 0-9 drought, like having to be locked in and be consistent with our preparation throughout the whole time frame. Like
Hmm.
I feel like that was the main thing, was just consistency, staying consistent all year long was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, and I know that streak you mentioned, winning the first two, going on a 9-game skid, but then finishing strong with the 5, like, that it seemed to be some stuff like, "Man, we're so close. We're so close to being on the other side of this," but, what was it like kinda playing through that and trying to stay positive, but at the same time being like, "Alright, we gotta get this figured out, guys."
Just playing for each other. Like
Yeah,
defensively, we just all locked in. We'd watch film together. And then when guys were like seeing like, oh, we gonna skip. Nope, nope. Group in the group chat right now. Like, get over here. Come on, we locked in. We got to get this out. We got to figure out how to win the game defensively. You know what I'm saying, and get us out this
yeah,
drought. So that was our mindset the whole time. Like, and we stayed on each other that entire time. Like, nobody really fell off. Like, and if anybody did slip, it was like, you slipped, but hey, come on, let's go, let's get back up.
yeah, yeah, for
So
sure.
once we got rolling, I mean, we caught fire. It was a contagion. Fire. So it got fun. It was fun the whole time, like you said, because it was a brand new team. Like it's the inaugural season, so like being in that situation where nobody knows nobody, nobody has a true role. Like we're all finding ourselves. It
Mhm.
was one of those situations where it was like, boom, it just start falling into play. Like this is a leader, this is a leader, that's the leader. This is the person who leads on the field. This is the person who leads off the field. And it meshed so well together as the season went on.
Yeah, and I think Coach Wooten did a really good job of assembling quite a roster of talent and bringing a lot of those pieces back for 2026. What's it
Yeah.
like playing for Coach Wooten? Because on the IFL Network, watching him on the sidelines, seems like he can get a little feisty at times, to say the least.
It's fun. It's actually fun. It's almost like two different coaches, honestly. Like
Yeah,
on the field, he gonna chew us out. But that's because he wants perfection, pretty much. He wants
right,
us to play at our best. He doesn't want us to ever play below our own team standard, which is 100% all the time, want to know every rep.
right.
But off the field, I mean, comedian. He's so funny. He cracking jokes with us, and he keep it real. So like being able to be around him and see him keep it real, but also know like, all right, cool, it's time to lock in. Like once we walk across the threshold of the field, threshold of practice, everybody knows it's time to work. And once we cross the threshold coming off the field, yeah, we're gonna have some laughs. We're gonna laugh, jokes, all of that. But
Right.
everybody knows when we cross that threshold to play, it's 100% all times.
For sure, yeah. You mentioned the city of Fishers. Tell me more about Fishers. Like the only thing I really know is that like it's a little ways outside of Indianapolis, not too far, but it's like a suburb of it. But like what about Fishers makes it so exciting? Like enough for you to want to come back for another season?
The vibes, like it's a growing city, honestly.
Yeah.
I did my research, of course, last year before signing and everything, and I looked it up, and if I'm not mistaken, like the city just became an actual city, like not too long ago. So
Okay.
it's not one of those cities that's been around since like 1950 or something. It's
Yeah.
like in the 2000s where it just became an actual official city, and it's
Okay.
fire. Like they're known for the railroad tracks that run through Fishers for the train. That's why
Right.
we're the freight, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Uh, but I mean, food spots, the parks. Like I want to say it was me and I can't remember who. It might have been Darius Long, and we were riding back, and we happened to see uh, a LED what is it called? The robots that are in the air? Drone show.
Oh, the drone show. Yeah.
First drone show, and we looked up and we seen like Kalen Clark's number, Tyrese Halliburton's number, like the trains, the
Wow.
farms. It was something crazy. And then did I mention the food?
Not yet, but please
Oh
tell me
yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The food is fire out there. Wherever you go, like you're gonna have a great taste. Wherever you go, it's gonna be amazing. And it's realistically, I want to say like 25 to 30 minutes away from downtown Indy.
Yeah.
So like going downtown, like it's sometimes it may feel like a stretch, but it's really not a stretch. And downtown Indy is beautiful. Oof. I've never been down there, so I'm not gonna say it's beautiful as St. Louis because that's home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Yeah.
out of everywhere I've been, seeing downtown Indy, it's like yeah, like this is somewhere you got to be. Like seeing the Pacers, seeing the Fever, they're downtown. You know what I'm saying? That's booming. Then when you come out to us, you get to see the field and the volleyball team. So like everything is just out there, and it's just so fun to be out there and just having fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, the indie sports community has just been growing, and with like the indie fuel, right, right with you guys as well. It just seems like such a great spot for the Fisher's Freight to be in, and that inaugural campaign, ups and downs, but
Yeah.
definitely ended on the right note. And 2026 is going to be very exciting.
Oh man, it's gonna be so exciting, man. Like I really can't wait. Like I'm ready to go now. Like I literally was talking
Right.
to the other day. I was like, I want to go to Indy. Like she was like, "What?" I want to go now. Like
Yeah. Go
there's a
right
way
now.
for me to get there now and start practicing. I want to go. Like let's start the season right now.
For sure. Yeah. Well, like we mentioned at the top of the show, all IFL first team in 2025. Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you.
But I got to think that a big part of that was your impact on special teams. Specifically, seemed like you were blocking kicks left and right throughout the season.
Yeah,
What are some of the things that enabled you to be so disruptive on the field goal blocking unit?
Coach Wooden standard. We got to go
Yeah.
100% every play. And it's kind of weird. I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, I'm pretty sure you're gonna ask me about these black kicks. So I was like, Mom, when did I start playing soccer? Because I
Yeah.
know I played goalie and I played a year up in AAU soccer. So I was always
Okay.
goalie. So I was like, maybe that's where it came from, but I don't know.
Okay.
But like
Yeah.
even in college, like I believe I had a record in college for like 10 block kicks or something like that. So
Jeez.
yeah, so college I was blocking kicks and I got here and I was like, they're not putting the ball anymore. I was like, so I gotta block a kick somehow.
Yeah.
But I think just being able to cause havoc, regardless if it's defensively or special teams or kickoff return, like being able to cause havoc across the field is one of the things like I just love doing. Like if I could stop you from scoring a field goal that's supposed to be like a free throw, come on,
Right.
that's gonna give us a momentum booster to keep rolling. That's gonna. I feel like in my mind, it's almost like in NCAA. Like once you miss a kick, now the deep kicks are a little more shaky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we can put pressure on the kicker, just like the quarterback, they gonna miss, just like he gonna miss that pass.
Yeah. Yeah. Rush them through their progression, just like a quarterback, like you said.
Yeah,
You end up having what, 4 of them this past year?
yeah. I had.
I think it was 4?
I think it is for. I know Jacksonville, Bay Area. Yeah, Jacksonville, Bay Area, Iowa, and Iowa. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, so you got 2 versus Iowa. Man, they don't
yeah.
like you over there, huh?
Nah, they sure they don't.
No. Well, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, specifically to the IFL, it's like, man, you're kinda surprised you don't see more of the block kick because every now and then it seems like you can catch the offensive line on the kick unit kinda kinda
Coming.
getting a little lax.
Yeah,
You can catch them sleeping.
yeah. I honestly I don't know. I mean, I just find the gaps. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We would call up different types of stunts or movements, and it just hit. You know what I'm saying? Like we would
yeah,
find something, and I just see the gap, and I'm like, all right. Like I tell Tay, like Tay, call this. I think this gonna hit. He'll look at me like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes,
I'm
just
positive.
do it. So like, and it was times where if it didn't work, like you'll even see on film, like we're all back there, like somewhere near the kicker or the placeholder, and they're missing the kick, and we're celebrating. And it's kind of like we're disrupting this kick just by communicating with each other, like, hey, this could happen. This could happen. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was definitely cool. One of those instances where like communication is key. Even during special teams, communication is key.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, it's guys just finished 2025 really, really strong. Hoping some of that momentum carries over to 2026.
Yeah,
What do you think? What do you think needs to continue from the end of that year into this upcoming year to be able to start strong like you finished?
just our consistency and our communication that we've worked on. Like we're close now. Like the end of the season, we were so close. Like it was kind of crazy to me, you know. Like I've never been that close to a team, like college or even in QC. Like it's one of them things where I'm actually cool with the O lineman. Like I used to always stay away from the O lineman. I'm like, I don't like y'all. Y'all trying to, stop me from doing my job.
Yeah,
So like the D line, O line, super close. D line receiver, super close, and vice versa. Like cool with Felix, our quarterback. We cool with him. We cool with this DB, that B, the running backs, all of that. Like everybody
yeah,
was so cool with each other. The communication was so well. Like we bonded and meshed. And I feel like we come back like just like that, where we just click like summer break. Oh
right.
yeah, we're good.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to see you guys get going again. Bringing back a lot of that core from last year. So it's going to be good times up in Fishers. But this has been really fun. Jaylin, I really appreciate you taking the time to hop on here. If you're watching, listening to this, scroll down just a little bit to the description. The socials for Jaylin are in there. So go click and give him a follow. Go give him some love. Let me know. Heard him on Off the Wall. But last question before we get you out of here. What are you most excited about for 2026?
Being back in Fishers. No, for sure being back in Fishers and being able to again prove why I feel like I'm one of the best linemen in the league, but also why Fishers is a place that's gonna be on top.
For sure. Yeah, you all aboard, Fishers. All aboard.
All aboard.
We're riding the train this year.
Yes. Train gonna keep on rolling, baby.
For sure. Well, Jaylin, this has been a ton of fun. I appreciate you hopping on here again, and best of luck in 2026. And we'll talk soon. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Big thanks again to Jaylin for joining the show and talking shop about his indoor football career so far. Fishers is going to be a very exciting team in 2026. If how they ended 2025 is any indication of how 2026 is going to go, they're going to be very fun. And that Eastern Conference is going to be a gauntlet yet again in the IFL. So go give Jaylin a follow. Let him know you heard him on Off the Wall. And we'll expect to see a lot more sacks, a lot more TFLs, and a lot more blocked kicks from him in 2026. So there wasn't a ton of stuff going on over the past couple of weeks with the holiday break. Wasn't expecting a ton, but I think the biggest thing comes from the Arena League, the TAL. They're set to announce a team coming to Grand Island, Nebraska, former home of the Nebraska Danger of the IFL in the 2010s. It fits the geography of what TAL is trying to do, and it brings arena football back to a town that is already familiar with it. It feels like one of the biggest growing pains of leagues and teams setting up shop in a new town for the first time is introducing the nuance of the sport and introducing it to the folks that already know what football is. But arena football is a little bit different. So it's like football, but it's not, but it is, but it isn't. So it takes some time to get used to, but this market has had it before, and they've had some pretty damn good teams in the past. Coach Mike Davis, who just won the IFL National Championship with the Vegas Nighthawks, he was the head coach down with the Nebraska Danger for a little while and made some good runs with those teams. So they're familiar with the sport, and I have a feeling they'll be able to pick right back up where they left off. But it feels like with this market, it's only going to work with the right partners. Not going to get ahead of anything and be like, oh, they don't have the right. We don't know any of that stuff. They're literally announcing all that the day this episode drops on Thursday, December 4th. So as you're watching this, they're probably doing like the announcement, and it's probably going to be posted on socials and everything. I'm interested to see, do they continue with the Nebraska Danger name? Do they pick up where they left off with some of those previous partners that they had with the Nebraska Danger? The Danger website has been up all these years, even though they haven't been a team. So that kind of makes you think, why would they leave the website up if they weren't planning on coming back at some point? Is this the time? I doubt this is an Oceanside situation where there will be two teams in Grand Island, Nebraska. So is this the Nebraska Danger coming back in some capacity? Or do they have another name the team contest where they leave it open to the people of Nebraska to choose the team and choose what the mascot, what the colors, what all that stuff is, similar to what they're doing with Memphis and the TAL franchise that just started up there. So a lot of questions that are not answered at the time of recording, but will be answered by the time you're listening to this. So check out the socials and the off the wall socials, the TAL socials for thoughts on all that as it unfolds. But yeah, exciting time for TAL, and they're set to announce one more. It looks like to replace Duluth, and they'll be set at 8 teams for the 2026 season. So let me know where you would like to see TAL go next. There's a lot of places they could go, but where do you think makes the most sense for them? Let me know in the comments. Like I said, not a lot to talk about this week, so I reached out to the community of friends on the Twitter and X landscape for some thoughts, and Adam Snow from the World of Football, friend of the program, had an interesting comment that I thought was worth diving into a bit, and that is social media within the arena football landscape. Now, we'll touch on what some of the leagues and teams are doing well. I'm not going to go through every team and be like, this team's good, this team's bad, this team's good. That's going to be exhausting, and we're going to have a lot more bad than good if we're just being honest. But I think there is a ton of opportunity within the social media content and marketing game for all these leagues and all these teams, even the teams that do it well, all things considered. They're leaving a lot of meat on the bone, and there's a lot more to be desired with some of the stuff that they're doing. And when you think about social media content, it's an opportunity to build your brand and really grow it beyond the locale of where you are. So if you're in Albany, for example, you're able to get boots on the ground and do stuff locally within Albany, but on social media, you can broadcast yourself to anywhere. Somebody in Sacramento could pick up a post from the Albany Firebirds if it gets shared to their algorithm. Somebody in Phoenix could get exposure to the Albany Firebirds. Someone in Orlando could get, someone in Nashville. Like, there are so many ways that the brand can grow just beyond the local market of where these teams are. And that could create a lot of opportunity for these teams and leagues moving forward. But it starts with dedicated effort to making it happen on social media, not just on one platform, but there's multiple platforms where people are. And let's just kind of dive into some of the leagues and teams and what they're doing right and what can be a little bit better. We'll start with the IFL. And this offseason, the league has done a decent job of rolling things out slowly but surely, and diversifying some content with announcements of like the FanDuel Sports Network, signing announcements. They have pretty good branding there across the board, but I think it could be a lot more engaging. Green Bay and Orlando probably do the best job with their social pages so far this offseason, and they find ways to keep folks engaged. Green Bay with the Strictly Business and keeping folks involved and letting them know what's going on behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and what to expect moving forward. Orlando has obviously had to do a lot of work on social because they're literally moving markets, so they're having to build a brand in a new market while continuing the brand that they've established over the years as well. So I think they've done a pretty good job of switching up the types of content that they put on their channels. I think the floor for what teams do to engage with their fan base is much higher in the IFL than what it is in some of the other leagues in terms of their social media game, but still where it could be and where it should be is different from where it currently is. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for the league as a whole, for the teams as a whole, to really make a splash. But we'll dive into some specific ideas a little bit later. And flipping over to the AF1, when you look at their socials, let's call it what it is. This offseason, their socials have been very bad. If you go to the AF1 Twitter page right now, if you were to scroll through the most recent posts, 6 of the last 7 posts have been the Firebirds Weekly, the Nest show for the Firebirds, live broadcasting onto the AF1 channel. That's it. That's it over the past 2 months or so. So it's something where it's like the league did a pretty good job throughout the 2025 season and leading up to the 2025 season, posting highlights, even if it was a bot and wasn't always correct at times, but they did a really good job of posting highlights and being as engaging as possible, having weekly interviews, sometimes multiple times a week with different players and people from around the league. But this offseason has just been really, really bad. And in an offseason where they could have potentially gained some ground on the IFL and really establish themselves as a dominant player in the indoor and arena football game, their social presence just has not been there, and it's just frustrating to see what they were doing in 2025 versus what they're doing in this offseason and what they could have been doing all this time. But if you look at some of the teams within the AF1, Albany has the best social media presence, but even they aren't very revolutionary with the content. They're just consistent. So I think one of the things that they do really well is they post a lot of clips from the 2025 season, which makes sense. Albany was the best team in the AF1 throughout the entire 2025 season. They had Sam Castronova, Dwayne Brown, Isaiah Scott. So plenty of highlights to be had, and they post them. They post them what seems like daily, and they're always engaging with the local community. And hey, we're at the mall doing a Halloween trick or treat giveaway. We're doing a thing at Dick's Sporting Goods. Like, they do all sorts of stuff, and they're letting it be known that, hey, we're present in the community. But even then, there's still a lot more that they could be doing in terms of the content itself. Minnesota, they've done a decent job this offseason, but there's room for diversified content with that. Washington, they're starting to get better with some committed folks behind the scenes to get the social content up to par. But I'll give some grace to the newer teams as they kind of get things up and running. Not going to pounce on them, not going to be like, shame, shame, shame. They're figuring things out. They'll get there, maybe. I don't know. But as a whole, the AF1 just has not been very good or impactful on socials this offseason, and it's just so frustrating to see. Like, there's so much you could be doing on an individual level, on a team level, on a league level, and it's like low hanging fruit that just takes a little bit of effort to execute on. But again, I have some ideas. We'll dive into those in just a bit, but we'll dive over to the NAL, and I think what the NAL does really well is they have consistency with their official / unofficial league podcasts inside the walls. And honestly, that's about it. When you look at the NAL socials across the board, team wise, Omaha does a good job with the coaches show and consistent posting. And you could tell they're really locked in with what they do with sponsors and meeting obligations there. And same with Colorado. They're starting to do a pretty good job. They've got a couple different things going with like the team account, the cheerleader dance team account, and they're always posting what's going on with the coaching staff and the ownership group and the new signings that are coming in. But most of the league is just not doing enough to continue to grow their team brands and grow the league brand. And it's something where you got to start now to get some momentum and again grow it beyond where you are locally. There is so much potential for what this sport can be, and I truly think indoor and arena football is a great built for TV product. But how will people know to tune in if they don't know about it or if they don't know that it exists? How do you get people to know about it? How do you get people to know that it exists? How do you find anything nowadays? It's on social media. It's on TikTok. It's on Instagram. It's on Twitch. It's on all these different streaming platforms. It's on all these different social media platforms. And if you're there and you're present, you can cast a wide net and catch some of those people's attention and introduce them to the sport. And you could have a new fan base developing there, but you'll never reach them if you're not dedicating the time to content. And the last league we're going to touch on, TAL, they're not great from across the league and with the teams themselves this offseason. I think some of the teams, I think Ozarks and Arkansas, they do a pretty good job of, posting what's going on. There's not a lot going on with TAL in the offseason. I get it, but it's another thing where they could be posting highlights. They could be posting things like, hey, here's a look back on here's the first quarter from the first game of the season. Do a quarter per day throughout an entire week of some of the highlights of one of their games. Like, there's so much that could be done that they're just not doing right now. And St. Joseph's, they're active. They're probably the most consistent, but still all they really do is they AI their logo into different outfits and slap it on a post on Instagram and be like, hey, look, it's a goat in a Santa outfit. Cool. Okay. What am I supposed to do with that, right? So again, there's just so much that these teams and leagues can be doing, but they just aren't at this point, and it's frustrating to see. And again, it just kind of comes down to execution and effort. So we looked at some leagues, touched on some teams that were doing things pretty well, but as a whole, let's be honest, the approach for social media and content is pretty subpar across the leagues and teams. Some are good, some are doing a good thing, but mostly they're meh to bad. And they're in that range. And a majority of the time when a team or league posts something, They're pushing something or they're trying to sell something. Tickets are on sale. Tickets on sale Friday. We're proudly sponsored by Bob's Mechanic Shop. Merch sale today. Buy. Give us money. Give us money. This. It's always asking, which is needed. But there has to be some give and some engagement to build up to. I'm sure some of you watching this are familiar with the name Gary Vaynerchuk. He is a social media, expert guru, does a bunch of wrote a bunch of books, does public speaking, does a ton of content himself. He wrote a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook, which I think needs to be the philosophy that these arena teams and leagues adopt. And I'll explain why. The concept of the jab, 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 right hook is that you're giving something to the audience with a jab. You're giving them something enlightening, something fun, something engaging. You're jabbing. After you do enough of the jabs, after you give enough engaging content, enough peek behind the curtain, building that rapport with the audience, then you go in with the right hook. Then you go in with the tickets on sale this Friday, by the way. You have a week's worth of content. Oh, by the way, we also have this. This t-shirt is on sale, 2 for $20 on Black Friday. It's stuff like that where it's like you really got to engage with the audience and not just always be asking, not just always be selling, but find ways to engage and find ways to just grow the reach of your social media pages. And I think these arena and teams and leagues can really benefit from that. And we live in an age where anybody from anywhere can watch anything at any time. Think about that. Anybody from anywhere can watch anything at any time. The money and how teams stay afloat is still primarily local. I get that. And I don't want to lose sight of that. Teams should absolutely own the community that they're in, engage with local businesses, build a sponsorship rapport, sell tickets, do all that stuff. Of course, you still need to do that. But there is just so much opportunity for growth within the sport, the leagues, and the teams if they were to really buy in and take social media seriously and truly focus on creating engaging content and growing the reach of their brands beyond just their community. And there's a core of diehard fans that use Facebook as their main social media. If you've been on some of the forums, some of you watching this are probably members of those forums, you know that. Many of the players are active on Instagram. A lot of fans are active on X/Twitter, and a lot are on TikTok as well. What works on one platform doesn't always work on the other. So that's another challenge that I think teams really need to embrace, is that you can't just make one thing, post it everywhere, and be like, all right, we're done. And that's easier said than done. Like something I am trying to get better with off the wall myself is just because something that I create does well on Instagram doesn't mean it's going to do well on TikTok and reach a wider audience. Just because something does well on TikTok doesn't mean it's going to do well on Facebook. Like it doesn't work like that. So you got to diversify the content per platform, but you have to really have a focused effort on this. And it seems like some teams do that, but most teams treat social media as a ask, buy, sell type of thing. And that's, you're not going to get the most out of it. So after doing all this talking, after doing all this reading, I figured, you know what? Let's give some free ideas for leagues and teams to adopt for their social content, right? So have a couple of ideas listed here. It's free game. So any teams, leagues that are listening, feel free to use it. Don't care. You can give me a shout out on it. You can not, whatever. I just want to see the teams and leagues do better with their social content, because if they do better with the content, the sport's going to grow. So idea number 1, 60-second Q&A with the commissioner. Each league has a commissioner. Each league has a face of the league. And it's something as simple as, hey, fans, what questions do you want to hear the commissioner talk about? Fan submits the questions, create a 1-minute video of the commissioner answering it in an informal, casual setting, walking outside at their desk. You don't have to do much. You literally grab your phone. You say, hey guys, hey fans, appreciate you guys for sending these questions in. Here's what I think about question A. It's something as simple as that. And that can go a long way with visibility for the fans, engage those diehards while possibly introducing the sport to new folks. Idea number 2, highlights from the 2025 season. Again, this should be the bare minimum, and it's what Albany has been doing really, really well recently. And it's an easy win where you could collaborate with players and reach their audiences and reach their following and start to build some excitement heading into 2026. Like I said, we're 4 weeks away from 2026 being here. And when 2026 gets here, it's going to be warp speed to the beginning of the season for some of these leagues. So now is the time to start doing some of these things and posting highlights, posting wins. Like even if like a team like Kentucky, they've never played an official game. You've got Darius Prince on your team. You've got 10 years worth of highlights that you could choose from and build excitement and let the fans of Kentucky know, hey, you have one of the greatest arena football wide receivers of all time on your team. Look at some of the cool stuff that he's doing. It's just not happening right now. So again, highlights from the 2025 season or even beyond that. Throw highlights on the socials, collaborate with players, and help spread the game, grow the game. Idea number 3, a day in the life. Do a little behind the scenes content of how an arena football team is run and operates on a daily basis. Director of football operations, what do they do on a daily basis? Head coach, what does an off-season day for Damon Ware in Albany, what does that look like? What does a scouting trip for Kevin Guy and the Arizona Rattlers look like? What does it look like for the head of marketing for the Quad Cities team? It's like, what does that look like a day in the life? Like, it gives a little peek behind the curtain to that. And like, I think it can give some really, really good exposure. Another idea, story time. We can come up with a better name for it, but show a clip of a play and have the player in the play itself on a green screen talking about what they were thinking, what was going on. Oh, I saw the DB go down, so I thought I'd throw it over him and do this, blah, blah, blah. Those types of insights give some credibility to the game of arena football. And you can break down the X's and O's, you can break down the psychology of it. There's so much that you can do with this. The last idea I got here is guess the player. Start with a blurred image of a player and slowly unblur it while you're giving clues on the screen as to who it is. It helps build excitement for the season. It helps build the brand of some of the individual players that you choose. And like there's just so much that can be done. There's literally an infinite number of ideas out there that just require 2 things: effort and execution. And here's the thing. You don't have to be the most creative individual to do social content. You don't. There's a lot of people that do social content out there that are not creative. I see it on a daily basis from some people, but like you can utilize stuff like Chat GPT to come up with ideas and spin off of that. Reach out, like collaborate. Like, you don't really see teams collaborate with other teams very often. What if they did that? What if they were able to cross pollinate a little bit and build off of each other's fan bases? I don't know. It's just frustrating because there's so much that can be done, and it's like teams and leagues are just not putting forth the effort to make it happen. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but I can execute on ideas and help grow the game. And that's what I've been able to do with the off the wall Instagram, the TikTok, and the Twitter. So it's time for the leagues and teams to do the same. Execute on ideas and help grow the game. In order to accomplish things you've never done, you got to do things you've never done. And so social media is just a massive, massive opportunity that is just not being taken advantage of by these leagues and teams. And it's time for the teams, it's time for the leagues to step up their game on social media and help grow the game. And my inbox is open. If any teams, league officials, anybody wants to pick my brain, wants to collab on stuff, please let me know. Happy to do so and happy to give free game just like I did on this show. And that's the show. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out the show this week. I hope that social media one-man discussion kind of made sense, but it's just frustrating from a fan perspective, from a content creator perspective, to see what these teams and leagues could be doing, and they're just not. So let me know in the comments what you think these teams and leagues should do. Maybe we need to be the change that we want to see in the arena football landscape. But big thanks to everyone for checking out the show this week. Big thanks to Jaylin for hopping on and sharing his journey. Make sure you go follow him on socials. Let him know you heard him on Off the Wall. We're 4 weeks away from 2026 being here, and then once 2026 gets here, we're 2.5 months away from the season officially starting for indoor and arena football. So it's going to be warp speed here very, very soon after the holiday season. But please make sure you're following us on socials at Off the Wall FB, F as in foot, B as in ball, on all the things and stuff. Come join the conversation. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you're liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment like we've talked about a handful of times throughout this episode. And Spotify, Apple Podcasts, please make sure you're liking the show and rating it 5 stars preferably. But hey, do your thing. I trust your judgment. Royal Retro's got the link there. Use code Off the Wall for 10% off. And then we've got offthewallfb.com. Go check out some of the blogs we've been doing this off season. We'll be ramping it up here very, very soon. We've also got the Off the Wall t-shirts for sale as well. So 24 hours in a day. The fact that you chose to spend about an hour watching Off the Wall this week means a lot. So really appreciate you taking the time. And we'll see you on socials. And this upcoming week should be a fun one. Next week, I feel like we're going to have a lot more to talk about. So we'll see how all that shakes out. So take care. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time.